Yo guys, in today's video I am going to show you 5 tips with Lavaloon which brings your Lavaloon gameplay instantly into your next level. Okay guys, now jumping instantly into the first tip, and it's this Mighty Miner tip. By just placing Mighty Miner opposite lane when you already took one tower down, just use then the ability and send the Mighty Miner off onto your opponent's tower. And this is just a small tip by my side in case you just know already that your opponent is playing, for example, with the Skami or with just some spam cards, for example with the spear goblins, with the goblin gang. Just make sure that you also have your zap in the hand. For example, you're just getting in with the Mighty Miner like that. Your opponent is for sure noticing that you are getting in with the ability, so he is just placing the Skami. But in case you are just expecting also the Skami, you just have to make sure you have the zap in the hand. Just place the zap onto the Skami, onto the spear goblins, all of the spam troops. And this is actually a trick which maybe some people of you know, but in case you didn't know it, this is a tip that makes you instantly a pretty much better Lavaloon game player. Okay guys, I showed you a pretty good trick how to use the Mighty Miner. Now it's time showing you a good tip how to beat the Mighty Miner. And just as a small spoiler, you have to use your tombstone, and you just have to kite your Mighty Miner instantly into the middle of the lane, because maybe you just understand how the Mighty Miner works. Otherwise, I'm just telling you the Mighty Miner always walks opposite lane instantly where he was. So as more as the Mighty Miner is in the middle, as closer he will spawn into the middle. So it's just important kiting the Mighty Miner instantly into the middle. And just as a small spoiler, it doesn't work when the Mighty Miner spawned instant or completely in the outside. So in case the Mighty Miner, or in case you just noticed that the Mighty Miner was played completely to the outside, you can't use the tombstone. Otherwise, when the Mighty Miner is coming like here, just use the tombstone as I'm showing you right now. So in case your opponent is playing a normal Mighty Miner, not a Mighty Miner which is played completely in the outside, just make sure to use a tombstone like that. So opponent is using the ability, but you can see that he is not able to kite the Mighty Miner or to bring the Mighty Miner onto your tower. But as I said, you just can use the tombstone in case the Mighty Miner is not played completely to the outside. In case the Mighty Miner is played completely to the outside, unfortunately you have to find other solutions, for example with the zap with the Mighty Miner or zap Mega Minion. But yeah, in case Mighty Miner is played in the middle, just use this tombstone play. Okay guys, now we just have enough from the Mighty Miner, so let's focus on another tip. And it happens pretty often that you are getting in with a Lava Hound and your opponent is getting in with Inferno, same lane. Then you're also just getting in with the balloon because you just know that you're also having the zap. So in case your opponent is just trying to arrow stat, you just have to zap it a little bit earlier, so you can see that your opponent is not able to zap the pups. So he is throwing actually the arrows, the nade, the zap, all of his small troops, or also maybe the freeze, and it happens pretty often with the freeze, onto the lava hound. So the pups are actually not getting killed. Lava pups are going to make a lot of damage onto the tower, a lot of damage onto the Inferno Drake, a lot of damage onto the other troops. So just make sure to time the zap perfectly onto your Inferno Drake, so your opponent is actually expecting Lava Hound is plopping off, but Lava Hound is not plopping off. So this is a key play in my opinion against most of the Inferno Drakes. And yeah, Inferno Drake is played in E-Golem, in Graveyard, also in Lava Hound Mirror, so I think in a lot of matchups. In the next tip I'm showing you a small tombstone play, or a small trick how to play your tombstone against all of the other balloon gameplays. And most of the times it just happens you are going to play a balloon like that, your opponent is answering the tombstone like that, and you know, okay, it's a 3 to 5 trade, I'm just taking the balloon death bomb, I'm taking in top ladder at least, or at level 14, round about 320 damage, it's okay. I'm taking that. But now, by just a small interactions difference and by just placing your balloon a little bit different, I show you how to get a balloon connections in case you know your opponent has to defend your next balloon just by one tombstone. Okay guys, and the tip sounds pretty simple. Just play your balloon one tile higher. So just play your balloon like that, not like that, just play your balloon like that. You might say, Carl, it's not working. It's just one tile difference, but it's one balloon connections. I mean, it's one balloon hit, and to be honest, most of the games, one balloon hit decides the whole game. So in my opinion, and it's my video, in my opinion, it's worth it showing you this interaction. So your opponent is playing the balloon like that. You have to play your tombstone on the same tile, otherwise it's not kiting. So there's no possible way for your opponent defending this balloon flawlessly by just a naked balloon. It's not an interactions which happens in most of the games. Tombstone is not played that often, but especially in Lavaloon mirrors, your opponent has or have just sometimes the tombstone defend that, and you saw just that getting a hit is just worth it, and it's so easy for you guys. So this was my next tip. Okay guys, now I'm showing you the tip how to beat the mortar nearly flawlessly just with your tombstone. So it's important playing the tombstone same lane but deep against the mortar. So mortar is always just connecting onto your skeletons. It's also a little bit of luck if the mortar is connecting onto your tombstone, onto the skeletons. In my opinion, sometimes it works, sometimes it just not works. I don't know really if it's possible timing it perfectly, but now I'm just showing you how it should look like. So sorry guys, just play your tombstone like that, same lane against the mortar. So in case mortar is getting in, just play your tombstone same lane like that. So you see, yes, you can see mortar is connecting onto your tombstone, but also the skeletons are just trying to get a little bit on damage. So you can see mortar focus some games or some seconds onto your tombstone. Also your tombstone or his mortar is still surviving, but his mortar is just actually making 2 hits onto your tower before mortar dies. So in my opinion, it's worth it playing the mortar most of the times like that. Otherwise, if the opponent's mortar is getting same lane, just make sure to play the tombstone one tile lower, and it's possible defending this mortar perfectly or flawlessly, I mean. But this mortar is not you can't defend normal mortar flawlessly with the tombstone. Still, it's worth it showing you guys. Okay guys, now at the end of the video my English gets even worse than it normally is, so I think it's time for saying thanks guys for watching this video. Write me in the comments which tips out of the 5 tips imposed you the most. So we have to end the video. My English is just getting worse and worse. Thanks guys for watching. See you next video. Bye guys.